Trump is threatening to sharply increase tariffs on Canadian automobiles, trucks, and auto parts from 25% to 50%, escalating the trade war between the United States and Canada after bilateral trade negotiations collapsed. The proposed increase would take effect on January 1st, marking a major new stage in the dispute between the two neighboring trading partners. The breakdown came late Friday night, when Canada walked away from negotiations just before a US-imposed deadline that would have added a 50% levy on nearly $20 billion, or 28 billion Canadian dollars worth of Canadian imports. The collapse has triggered renewed concerns about the future of trade, businesses, and economic relations across North America. Canada says it left the negotiations because last-minute U.S. demands were unacceptable. Those demands reportedly included a restrictive clause that would limit the other countries with which Canada could sign trade agreements. Prime Minister Mark Carney said Trump's latest tariff threat was unsurprising and accused the U.S. president of wanting to destroy Canada's auto industry. Carney said Canada would only return to the negotiating table if Washington approached the talks with the right attitude. The United States has offered a different explanation. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer said Canada made last-minute changes during the negotiations and wanted more, highlighting the deep disagreement over who was responsible for the collapse. Canada is now preparing retaliatory measures. Carney announced reciprocal tariffs on U.S. goods on a dollar-for-dollar basis, scheduled to take effect on September 8th. While Canadian officials were set to outline measures aimed at protecting domestic workers and businesses. Ottawa is also seeking to reduce its historical dependence on trade with the United States. Carney announced 11 billion Canadian dollars, or $7.95 billion, in funding to build 6 Coast Guard icebreakers at a Quebec shipyard. The vessels are intended to open winter shipping routes through Canada's northern and Atlantic waters and help diversify the country's trade connections. Ontario Premier Doug Ford, whose province is home to Canada's auto manufacturing hub, reacted strongly to the escalating dispute. He suggested Canada could retaliate by charging the United States more for critical minerals, electricity, oil, and gas. Trump dismissed Ford's remarks as bluster on Truth Social and warned of worse consequences if Canada did not fall in line. Businesses on both sides are already warning of serious fallout. A clothing retailer in Portland, Oregon, said Canadian-made pillows could see their price rise by 50% overnight, reaching $90, leaving little time to adjust supply chains. The wider stakes are enormous. The escalating dispute is putting the USMCA, which underpins $1.6 trillion in North American trade, under serious pressure. Canada and Mexico want to extend the agreement for another 16 years. But the United States has refused to renew it in its current form. Analysts at Oxford Economics warn that if the agreement begins to unravel, Canada could be pushed into recession and locked into a permanently lower growth path. With Trump threatening higher auto tariffs, Canada preparing reciprocal measures, and negotiations frozen, the US-Canada trade war appears to be entering a far more confrontational phase.